All right, the 49ers were linked with an All-Pro Super Bowl winning player, and it's just one of two crazy rumors that have massive implications for 49ers fans that I can't wait to tell you about in this video. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Nate, and I just genuinely appreciate that you guys watch these videos, like, comment, and get engaged, because I don't work with a whole lot of football fans, and of the ones that are, none of them are 49ers fans. So it is awesome to be able to talk to you guys about the Niners and to comment back and forth and chop it up. So just appreciate it. Okay, let's move on to the first rumor, which is this guy, Zack Baun, Philadelphia Eagles. Here's the Sporting News reporting on this. Philly's cash spending will be in the top 2 or 3 again in 2025. And when you pair that with just $17 million in projected cap space, it's fair to expect a less aggressive approach to free agency this March. The result could be multiple key starters from Philly's championship roster leaving for fresh starts and monster pay raises. With that in mind, USA Today predicts reigning first-team All-Pro linebacker Zack Baun will get priced out of the Eagles' plans for what PFF projects will be a 3-year deal in the neighborhood of $40 million. And the link is from the Sporting News is with the 49ers, which I think is interesting. Of course, the 49ers are in need of a monster linebacker with Dre Greenlaw potentially leaving this offseason, and that is for sure a realistic possibility. Here's what the Sporting News said. Let's be honest, the 49ers should probably focus on retaining at least one of their own free agents from the trio of Greenlaw, Ward, and Hufanga. But if they look outside their roster for a replacement, they could be intrigued by what Baun achieved during his lone season in Philadelphia. The 28-year-old became an All-Pro and notched 151 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and 5 forced fumbles while helping the Eagles win a Super Bowl. Pairing him with Fred Warner may help soften the potential loss of Greenlaw. Okay, so this is interesting. Like, we got to think about this for just a second. Obviously, when you look at, I agree, by the way, with the take that the 49ers need to try and keep one of those 3 major free agents. I don't even think of them as 3 anymore because I feel like Charvarius Ward is already gone. Understandably, his family situation and his personal connection with the Bay Area, with just even being around the 49ers stadium, has been tough for him. And so it seems to me he said as much. He didn't say it was 100% out of the cards, but it felt like he was basically saying he's not going to end up back in the Bay. And he even said it in terms of California, like he might not end up on the West Coast at all. But so he's definitely one of the 3. Greenlaw and Hufanga, of course, are 2 major players. I know that folks are interested. A lot of people are interested in seeing Hufanga leave the 49ers. I'm not so interested in seeing him leave the 49ers. I'm just not willing to pay him for what I think he would cost. Greenlaw, on the other hand, I would pay him what I think he's worth. We've talked about him in the range of about $8 to $10 million for 1 year, and potentially having a prove-it deal where you don't know what he's going to be like health-wise, and so you kind of take a little bit of a risk there. Okay, there's some options there. Let's talk about what Zack Baun would look like, where that ranks amongst other linebackers and some of that stuff. So the actual projected deal from PFF is 3 years for $40 million total, 26.5 guaranteed. So that would be 13.33 average annual. Does that deal make sense? Well, if you're getting the Zack Baun of 2024, going forward, then sure, that deal does make sense. Of course, you have to remember, Super Bowl hangover, we've been there. But whatever. His PFF numbers the last couple of years, of course, look completely different. He's had now his first real serious year with 1,200 snaps, and he ranks first in linebackers. So, that's something worth celebrating. Do you do this deal? Let me know in the comments if you do this deal. When you look at kind of where Zack Baun, ranks amongst all the other linebackers, I might have missed 1 or 2 in there, but I think I highlighted all the linebackers in the PFF top free agents I did 75 top free agents some time ago. And Dre Greenlaw stands alone at 18, the highest ranked free agent. Obviously, he hasn't been healthy, so there's a concern there. I still think he's worth more of a mercenary kind of deal. That's my personal opinion. Let me know what you think. I just want to see Dre. I want to see him in a 49ers uniform, guys. I really do, and I feel like he's still got it. I feel like I mean, he's obviously still got it. He's young. He's still got plenty of years left if he can stay healthy. I think he can, but we'll have to see. Of course, you have some other linebackers on this list who are definitely not going to re-sign with their team. So they're not all available as much as it looks. We've talked about Jamie and Sherwood, who I think is a really interesting New York Jets candidate, connected with your defensive coordinator. There's some benefits there. Okay. There's some hope there. That's all, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out, but let me know what you think. Do you feel like this rumor is worth it? Do you think it's good news? Do you think it's bad news? What do you think? I look forward to seeing that in the comments, but don't leave because the other rumor is really interesting. Now, I know that you've probably heard about this one, and you're probably like, dude, who cares about Matthew Stafford? And no, for the love of all things holy, I'm not trying to say we need to get this guy in a 49ers uniform. Just because he's interested in a trade doesn't mean the 49ers fans have to talk about every single available quarterback every single time someone wants a trade. Like, we don't have to do that, all right? We have Brock Purdy. We have a quarterback one. He's not the top quarterback in the league, but he's pretty darn good. Okay, anyway, the rumor, and I won't fully believe it until I hear Adam Schefter say it, but there's a lot of people with credible people who have talked about this rumor, so I do think it's legit. Los Angeles Rams Matthew Stafford is given permission to speak to other teams to facilitate a trade. Now, what I think NFL Rumors, the X account, probably is getting wrong here is the phrase "to facilitate a trade." Did Matthew Stafford get permission to speak to other teams? I believe that's the nugget of truth. I don't think it's to facilitate a trade. I think that this rumor is actually what we've seen many times with guys who are, close to getting a new deal done, that sort of thing, market value, that kind of stuff. Dan Dugan, I don't even know how to say his name. I don't even know how to say it. Anyway, this is unique. Usually when a team lets an agent talk money with other teams to facilitate a trade, this sounds like the Rams having other teams set Stafford's market for them. Okay, there's an interesting one. David Lombardi says, but I do think Rams are willing to execute a trade if an offer is robust enough. Stafford is 37, obviously isn't their long-term future and has delivered pedestrian efficiency numbers in the 3 years since the 2021 Super Bowl. Might be time to recoup value or at least consider it. Okay. We're getting some new information. We're kind of building some conversation here. And then Akash, I think, says exactly what my perspective on this is. It feels like Matthew Stafford and the Rams are going to come to an agreement on an extension. Trade talks just feel like a way of properly gauging value. Stafford probably wants top 10 money, justifiable given his play. Rams probably worried to pay a 37-year-old. That right there, Akash, you nailed it. I think that's my personal opinion of how I think all this is actually playing out. I don't think Matthew Stafford is on his way out unless he's planning on holding out if he doesn't get his money at the level that he's looking for. I think he wants a restructured deal with the Rams. That's just my personal take, and I agree with Akash 100% on this one. Let me know what you think about this one. This is a fascinating one, though, because I do think Matthew Stafford leaving the Rams is good for the 49ers. I know they haven't destroyed us, and I do feel like the quarterback conversation is interesting in the NFC West because you have guys who are pretty darn talented, and you have guys like Matthew Stafford, who's one of those guys, because he gets that ring, all of a sudden he's in a different level in terms of the conversation of his quarterback status and how high up he is on whatever list you might have. Oh, speaking of lists, yeah, I didn't bring that. I should have put that list together that had the Brock Purdy at 23, absolutely ridiculous list, and I forgot to put that one up here. But whatever. The bottom line is, I think that Stafford probably wants top money. I think he's looking around and he's seeing what some of these guys have gotten, Dak Prescott, what some of these dudes are out there getting, and I think he feels like he deserves more money because he's a good quarterback, and I would understand that, and I don't think that this actually means he's going to get traded, but if he does, I think it's a win for the 49ers. It's in some ways a win-win for the 49ers because if they sign him to more years, Stafford's play is only going to get worse over time. He's at 37. Sorry, man. That's just the way that it's going to go. So I'm good with where the 49ers sit in the NFC West, looking at the Rams right now. Cooper Kupp's going to be gone. Matthew Stafford is either going to be costing his team more money, which makes it harder for them to build a roster around him, or he's going to be gone. And I'm okay with both of those scenarios in a lot of ways. So all good for me. Let me know what you think. Really interesting, by the way, because I love to do these little countdowns at the end of the video. We talk about how many days until the NFL draft. This posted yesterday from NFL Stats saying the combine, which is now 4 days because this was posted yesterday. So 4 days to the combine, 9 days to the franchise tag deadline, 17 days into free agency, 60 days to the draft, 80 days to the schedule release. And that's a rough estimate, of course. We don't know the exact day. 143 days until training camp. Again, depends on the team. 165 days to preseason and 193 days until the 2025 season kicks off. Let's go. I'm hyped on it. Can't wait for it. I'm already just waiting for it. But we have so many things with combine and free agency and stuff we have to talk about before the draft. And then you have all the OTAs and everything. So there's plenty of things to talk about. Make sure you're subscribed. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for being engaged and commenting and liking the videos, because it is super fun to be able to engage with you guys and talk Niners.